Today it's finally sunny after a week of pretty much rain and miserable weather. It's about 2 degrees, but what I'm hoping to get done is get this bike hopefully started, or at least making some good noise. So previously we've put the panels back on, we've got the whole head unit put in, we've replaced a valve, but I'm not a big fan of this head unit not being stock. The valves are actually a different size, which makes me think it's going to be a bit of a pain to get running with the stock carb that I've got here and the airbox. So I've been scouring eBay looking for a new head and actually came across from Facebook Marketplace an entire engine for 60 quid. It's an engine out of a 2016 Sinnis Apache, which is a KFMI as well. And it's actually got better condition. It's just got a nice clean side panels there. And we're going to try and swap that out today. So obviously everything's going to have to come off, the panels, seats. And we're going to try and do this in one big hit. Carb's coming off, exhaust comes off, starter comes off on this side before we get to the bolts. Around here we've got clutches to come off. Gear shift lever can come off right towards the beginning there. Now, my problem is I have never actually swapped an engine across, so I've got a horrible feeling this swing arm bolt's going to come out, which worries me because I don't really have a center mount. At the moment you can see it's on a side stand. So we will have to see how that goes. This could be quite interesting. So I think first things first is try and get everything out as much as possible. I was hoping to do this with the chain still intact, but yeah, I might have to pop the chain off as well. All right. We'll catch up in a bit. Just a little mid-flow progress. So tanks off, covers are off, exhaust is off. I have disconnected all the cabling up here, and you can see it's dangling down there. Sprocket covers off. Let's come around, it's actually sensible. Sprocket covers off, cabling's all disconnected. Disconnected the clutch perch here, but however this perch whatever it is. It's a nightmare, so I'm hoping when I get the whole thing off I can find out. So I've disconnected the clutch at the top as well so I can feed it through. Disconnected the starter electrics, and now I think it's a case of running through, basically tweaking every bolt so they're loose. So I've tweaked the main swing arm bolt, so that's loose. Just got to go through and tweak the rest. See, I disconnected the starter, and I think we should be all right. That's loose there, so that can come off together, which will then give me the space to take that off, because these are awkward, as in to get this bolt off over here, just, yeah, come around. So it's awkward to get the carb off of this, because this bolt here, the thread actually knocks it down, so you've got to kind of wobble it out. Actually, I might try and do that first. Let's try and do that first. And then we'll loosen everything off, and then we'll see if we can get the engine out. the engine out. It was hard work, and it's here. And here is our new engine ready to go in here. As you can see, still a bit filthy, but lower mileage, supposed to be good to go. It's off of the Sinnis Apache, as you see there. So I've got to try and do now is maneuver this back into position and start bolting shit back up, which will be interesting because it was not hard. It was very hard getting it out, and I had assistance, and I have lost my assistant. So what I'm going to try and do is start getting bits in. Before that though, I might have a cup of tea because this was hard. I've got to move across the blanking, spark plug obviously, the EGR cover there which has just been blanked off. Should be able to get an EGR cover for it. But yeah, to get the engine out, you have to balance it very precariously there. Then all the bolts come out here. Everything gets disconnected. It's the engine top mount, which I should actually take out now. And you can see what we have to do now is try and get this back one in, and then this one in. That will then support a lot of the weight while I then get the front all mounted up. And then we can start reconnecting everything. It's not going to be a quick progress, but we are 2.5 hours in, and say I'm having fun. Had to pull the wife in to give me a hand to get the first bolt seated, but now that engine is held by one bolt and the weight of the frame, and I'm now going to start putting everything in. But the carbines are just easier to slot together because otherwise it's a bit of a pain to get this carb in. There's only just enough room. So now it's just a case of bolting everything back together. Okay, we've now got the engine in the frame finally, and I got the carb roughly mounted. I've got to see why this isn't quite lining up, which is really annoying. The carb's loosely put into place, so I'm hopefully I can just give it a bit of a bend and that'll come up a touch. So maybe tweak that around. Sorry, give that a bit of a bend because the carb's only loose, and push that up, and that will align a bit better. I've got to get the EGR delete on. What else is going through here? I can't remember what goes in there. Don't think anything does. But yeah, got to get the exhaust in, EGR delete, cap that off, and then clutch back on, which you have to take up all the way. rear wheel mounted, and it should just come back in. I think I might do the electrics next, so I can clean all that up. Oh yeah, I've got the earthing point, which I think goes to that bolt there. So that has to be used to earth everything back up. So I'll get that sorted next. the tank and covers now. Everything's connected up with the exception of underneath here, the EGR system. Trying to take that off the old bike. This nut here is stuck. Tried hacksawing it, tried everything. So all I'm going to do is go online, find a plate, put the plate over the top, and I think that should take care of that. So that means the EGR delete with that sorted out, and I can try starting it. Okay, it's now the end of the day, and about 6 hours later, I've done the swap of the engine. I have to stop, unfortunately, because I'm missing an EGR cover plate, which isn't helping things. But the biggest concern for me right now is around here, gears. So it looks like I'll change gears quite successfully, but the clutch, even with the cable, and it is taut. I mean, it's a hard pull right now. It's all there. I've adjusted it max out to here basically, and I can feel the cable pulling. And you can see here it's fully maxed out as well. Adjustment. Yet every time I drop it into gear, it won't engage the clutch properly, which is a bit of a problem. So I might have got a nice shinier engine, which still doesn't run, but now my clutch is gone. So we'll have to see whether that's just seized. I've obviously filled it up with oil to kind of lubricate everything, and maybe that will help, but I doubt it. Alright, we'll see what happens next time when I order an EGR plate and start playing around with that.